This video is sponsored by OneFootball, available now on the Apple App Store and the Android Play Store. Follow your favorite teams and get the latest news, videos, fixtures, scores, stats, and more for everything related to football. Link is in the description. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are back for another tutorial video. The reason I'm doing this is yesterday the update came out for the option file, which is good news. It means we can continue our Master League playthrough, which I hopefully get out over the weekend. If not Sunday, definitely Monday, and then we'll just start bashing our way through it. But yeah, I didn't have time to sit down and play a match, but obviously if I'm going to update the file, I might as well help you guys out if you are looking for a decent option file or some files to play with, more realism, etc. I'll show you guys how to do it. So if we have a look at what came out, here it is. This is what I'm using over at EvoWeb. I'll leave the link for this, just this direct link right here, of the thread, in the description. If I forget, which I do often, leave a comment and I'll be sure to do so. Or maybe someone else will help out. But either way, this is what I'm using. So you'll want to go to this thread and pretty much download this file right here from Mega, which is always a good place to download. There's never any issues. It's 1.82 gig, and then you've got another file which is about double the size, 3.6 as well. Now this has got CPK files in there, so you know you'll have tattoos, you'll have the proper music and chants and fonts and all that fun stuff. It's already in there for you. If you scroll down, here's the stadium pack. You will not need that because that's going to be included as well. Just follow along, literally follow along with what I do, and if you want to add extra goodness, you can always do that as well. So what I have done is I've actually deleted everything. That's right, delete it all. Obviously I've kept the saves and all that, but this is a fresh install. Haven't really even started PES yet, so I'm going to show you the procedure if you do start a completely fresh new game or copy of PES. So one thing you'll want to do, and this is my backup right here, so I do have a backup of what I had before. If you have already installed this option file, right, and you're just looking to update it, it's a simple case of drag and drop, pretty much. You're just going to be grabbing the files down and then whipping them in. I mean, it's not difficult. This is actually, and I'm getting a little bit crazy with the windows here, but bear with me. So I've tried to organize them, but the option file content is right here. You've got a download, so you've got all these files. You'll whack those files into your downloads, okay? It'll replace them and all that fun stuff. You generate the DP file list, and then you're pretty much good to go. And then you put the save files into your save folder. But, you know, follow along with me and you'll be fine anyway. So, let's go ahead and just delete these files. So I'm going to go to Konami here. I'm going to delete everything I have because I'm doing this as a fresh install. And I already have a backup just in case things go wrong. So, we're going to hit delete. Let it do its thing. Depending on how quick your hard drive is, etc., it will be slow or fast, and there we go. So now everything is officially gone. So I'm going to start PES 2019 for the first time, show you exactly what to do before you even start installing things, and then we'll be back. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. Okay, so now we're in the game itself. As you can see, it's popping up like it's a brand new copy of PES. So obviously just quickly go through here. It doesn't really matter what I do because I'm going to be putting back my system file afterwards. So, you know, I don't really need to worry about that at all. So we'll just quickly go through these and let it load up an edit file. Let it save a save file, system file, all that fun stuff right there. And then we will have to apply the live update. I hate this stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Brilliant. Yeah, not worried about it. Do not accept. It doesn't really matter at this point in time. So we'll go across. We'll go to apply live updates. You want to be sure to do this before you do install the option file itself. Okay, maybe I should have just accepted this because now we have to go ahead and do it. Okay, just click on that, click escape, click on that, click escape, agree, and accept. There we go. So now it's going to start applying all the live updates that are needed, and then we can basically get off the game. I mean, this is all you have to do beforehand. Update club squads, yes. Go ahead and do that. And of course, yes, we will say we will create and edit data as we need to go ahead and do that. Okay, so everything's done now. I updated it, sorted it. I will just show you guys as we go to kickoff here that everything is pretty much, we'll say no for that. It's default, as you can see. So the Premier League, all you've got is Arsenal and Liverpool. Everything else is completely wrong. And no one would want to play PES like this. So I feel bad for the Xbox people. I really do. Hopefully one day you'll get it as cushy as, you know, PC and PlayStation 4. But as you can see, all the teams are pretty much unlicensed, and that's what we want. So we're going to get off the game now, and I'll see you guys back on the desktop. Okay, so we now have our copy of PES 2019 right here on the left-hand side. Okay, so this is where it now gets a little bit more interesting and a bit of fun, and we get to play around with some files. Obviously, I have other tutorials. If you haven't checked those out, you can check them out, but this is going to be the newest and the greatest and latest one we have. So I'm going to go on the new option file folder that I created before. These are the files that I've downloaded. I mean, look, it's really personal preference of what you want to use. But, you know, just download what you can and follow along, and you should be fine. So the first thing we're going to do is go to option file content. It's a pretty big file, 6.23. We're going to go to the downloads folder, and these are the files that we need. So we can just highlight all of those. We can then go to download right here. This is the actual place where, remember, this is the actual place where your files are located on your computer. Actually, before we do this, I'm going to make a backup of this. So click on DP file list and just type like .bak. All right, that's just a backup, just in case things go wrong. They shouldn't, but just in case they do. And so I'm going to copy and paste this just because it's easier than dragging. And if I cut them and lose them, then it's always easier to copy and paste just in case you do lose the files and then you want to try and bring them back. So that's that done. Lovely. Simple. This is honestly one of the easiest ways and easiest option files to do. So it's minimal effort. So we've had that done. That's sorted. Now we're going to go ahead and before we generate the file list and do any of that, we will go back and add a few more things that I want to add. Obviously, EvoSwitcher is the big thing you need. Okay, this is massive because it just adds so much to your game. And it's very simple. You'll once again copy the files, there aren't that many, and paste them into your folder. By the time you've finished, you will have quite a few files in your directory. But that's the fun and games of it all. So we'll let this just quickly copy, and then we will be back once it's done. Okay, so I did actually forget to tell you guys one thing you need to do to fix a problem with EvoSwitcher, because right now, if you play a Premier League match, or if you saw when I played a Premier League game, it was showing like the AFC instead of the Premier League. So, simply go to Modules, EvoSwitcher, then you want to go to Evo Entrance. Okay, yeah, that's the one. EvoSwitcher, Evo Entrance, and go down to, you can see right here, someone's added an S accidentally. So instead of Premier Leagues, it needs to be Premier League. Okay, now that should fix the problem. Simple as that. Okay, so Modules, EvoSwitcher, Evo Entrance, change Premier Leagues to Premier League, and you are good to go. So now we can get into the game and see if it's worked out accordingly. Okay, so there we go. As you can see, it's looking the part. Now, if you actually have a look at my other structure that I had before, if we actually kind of minimize this real quick, because this was my backup one, and I'll show you why there's differences here. See, I had a stadium folder. I had a couple of other ones. I won't be using Cider as much. I'll probably just use CPK files. That's why it's going to look slightly different here to what you normally have seen before. But, you know, it all works either way. So that's just the old structure that we had. Now, something else I will definitely want to add. If you want to use the broadcast camera at all, make sure you download the disabler. Okay, these two files right here are a necessity. They may, so we'll just copy and paste those again. They may get flagged by your antivirus, which is what happened to me. Just quarantine them otherwise and just allow them pretty much so that they don't get deleted. Once you've done that, I just like to run this as admin just to be safe. Just hit disable. Okay, there we go, disabled. Broadcast camera zoom disabled. If you want to enable it, you click enable. If you want to disable, you click disable. It's that simple. Now, this is the latest one, by the way. Let me just do this again to show you guys what I mean. Underneath here, you can see it does say 1.3 data pack 3. Make sure you have the latest one, otherwise it won't work. And if you want to test it real quick, take the ball to the corner of the pitch, and normally it would zoom in at that point if it wasn't, you know, if it was on. So just make sure you disable it. Okay, next up we are going to install the graphics mod. Okay, this is for the turfs, if you want some good looking turfs. I had some problems with this before. Now, doing a fresh install, I'm going to see if it fixes them or not. Because some of my turfs were yellow and dark and stuff, but if not, I can always use this other CPK. But never ever combine turfs, because it never works out very well. So we're going to use the GFX mod one. We're going to go in here. We're going to go 2.0. You have to install them in order, of course, 2, 2.1, 2.2. So we go to 2.0. If you want to read the instructions, you can, or you can simply follow me, which is quicker. Copy these files, paste them into the main directory. It shouldn't ask you to overwrite anything because these are new. Then you will go back to 2.1 and do exactly the same thing. Grab these, copy them. Yeah, I'm copying and pasting and not just dragging them in, because if I lose them, I won't be able to get them back. So replace the existing files, yes. So that's 2.1. And finally, 2.2. You want to go to modules this time around. No, graphics mod. There you go. And then you will just pull the assets, or, you know, copy and paste it, and it should ask you if you want to override it. I think this was for Stamford Bridge, or it didn't actually, it just updated. You can see it's the same file structure, so it just adds ST003, which is, I believe, Stamford Bridge. So there we have it. So everything looks good right now. Obviously we won't know until we're actually in the game itself. Stadiums we don't need to worry about because that has already been done. We've disabled the zoom, we've added EvoSwitcher. We obviously need to do the edit file. We'll do that in a second. So now we'll go ahead and we'll go to download. We will go to DP file list generator, and we're going to open this up. Now, I like to run it as an admin. I don't honestly think it matters. I just do for the sake of doing it. So once you are in the file list generator itself, these are all the files basically in your folder. What it does is it tries to find the CPK files. So you've got to make sure. I don't know if I can go back here. I actually can. See, these are the CPK files, just to explain it. All these ones here are pretty much the updates, so 3.0, 2.0, 1.03, etc. Those are key. You've got to have the latest ones to be able to play with the latest data packs. You want to make sure this CPK file path is directing itself within here. Okay, it needs to find these, otherwise it won't be able to do anything. Likewise, it needs to try and find the DP file list, which is this one here. This is the backup we took of before. We don't need that, but that's just in case things go pear-shaped. But this is what it's trying to find ultimately. So if you click choose path, you know, you just load that one up if it's not finding them. So these are everything you'll need. Now, make sure, and I did this wrong before, make sure you have the stadiums at the very bottom in this order. I don't know if it's going to make a massive difference if you don't have them in this order, but to be safe, have the basic stadium, all the pack there with Old Trafford and the other 7 stadiums, etc. at the top. Then have the Bernabeu, Stamford Bridge, that's SB, and the Etihad. You can rename these. If they're a bit too long, sometimes renaming them will fix it, but this should be fine. So make sure it is in that order. It basically has the lowest, the priority is, the lower it is, the higher the priority. So these are really high on the list, and these are lower priority. So make sure the stadiums are right there. If you want to add more CPK files, of course, go ahead and do that. Check out Evo Web. I mean, I think you can add a total of 45, 47 of them. It's really up to you, and you can also combine it with Cider. So yeah, once you've done that, you'll hit generate, let it generate, it will say it's successful, and you are now good to go. We are now going to go to our save file. Actually, I lie, there is one more thing I want to do. Yeah, we have to do actually to make sure that the graphics mod actually works. So this file right here, Cider configuration file, you can open it with whatever you have. I just use sort of Notepad, it's easier. So here it is. Okay, this is the file. Now you're going to add some code to this if you want to be able to use the graphics mod. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my old backup file because it's already been done for me. So we can open it up right here. So this is the old one. As you can see, we've got a few lines of code that have been added. Now, I don't have these in place right now. I may add them later. But if you wanted to add other Cider files, this is how you would do it. If you want any information about Cider, I mean, check out my other tutorials because I kind of went through all that. But what we're going to do here is copy this. And we are going to paste it underneath here. And we're going to change this to GFX mod, and it has to be exactly the same as the folder. So that's not exactly the same, is it? Because there is actually an underscore right there. And then we just save that. If you wanted to change some things on here, you can also do that. I mean, you can change the match time to a full 90 minutes if you want, which is a little bit crazy. If you want to play a 90-minute match on PES, then go for it. But here, okay, so that's the one thing we need right now to make sure that the graphics mod is actually working, and we'll test it in game once we get in there. But that is the code you need. Make sure that file right here is exactly the same as the folder here. If you add any new balls and you name the folder balls, make sure you put that there. Add boards, it's the same deal. That's kind of why I had these right here. So that is done, and we can exit out of it. Simple as that. Now, we're going to go to our documents, Konami, go to Pro Evo. I don't know why I still have the demo on here, weird. Into this file folder, into save, and you can see right now we have absolutely nothing in there. So what we're going to want to do is open up option file content. We're going to go to the save. This is the new goodies that we had. Literally copy everything. Okay, every single thing you have right here, copy it. So Control C, head over, and Control V that bad boy, and paste it in. It's about, as I said, 1.7 gigs, so it shouldn't take too long. It will ask you to overwrite a couple of files. You can just replace those. So that is that done. Now, because I have Master League saves, obviously I want to make sure I put those in my game as well. So I'm going to take my Master League saves that I had before and put them back into this file folder structure. Otherwise I will lose them. So we will copy all of these in here. There they go. Graphics file list, you don't need to worry about any of those. But one thing I will also add, of course, is my system data, because that has got my control schemes and my legend difficulty. All of that stuff is on this system file, and I don't want to have to unlock it all again. So I'll replace the file in the destination. Bob's your uncle. There we go. So that should be it, ladies and gentlemen. That should be it now. And we're going to load up the game, and I'll see you guys in there. If you follow me correctly, done exactly the same as I've done, we should have all the teams in there, proper names, logos, and formations, and EvoSwitcher working nicely. So let's give it a shot, and I will see you guys in just a second. So make sure you hit... I normally run the game from here. You don't have to, but I'll hit that EvoSwitcher, and then what happens is it opens up another little box like this. You actually have the option of changing the game speed if you want. This is faster, obviously that's slower, or you can just leave it off. Evo Kit, I'm not really too sure what it does, so I just leave it on PTE. But you go from here, you hit play game, and the game will load up. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so now we are in the game, or on the game itself. If everything worked, you shouldn't have any problems. It should say system data loaded, edited data loaded, and then you're good to go. And as you can see, I can also continue my Master League where I left off. I've incorporated those back into the game, and everything should be fine because I'm using the same option file. It's just been updated. So let's go into an exhibition match and show you guys that everything is hunky-dory. It loads up the info. If you want to play in the new stadiums, though, you're going to have to turn off the live update. Make sure that is switched off. You should have a total of, it should say out of 60, as opposed to normally it's 40-something. But as you can see, we have now the Premier League. Looks the part. Got the Sky Bet, obviously. And La Liga's there, and the Bundesliga. So, yeah, it's all done nicely and working. So let's pick Manchester United because we love to do it. They're taking on Liverpool as well this weekend, so that's going to be great fun. Just to show Old Trafford again. So if you go to stadiums now, you should see there it is, 16 out of 60. We've got the Allianz Arena, Stade de France is in there. Obviously, you've got the new data pack stadiums as well, Signet Iduna Park. There is Old Trafford. The Emirates, Anfield, obviously, a couple of new ones at the beginning. The Bernabeu is there, Stamford Bridge. So if it's all working, it should all be there for you guys without question. So let's go to Old Trafford. Keep missing it. We'll play in the winter. Now, just to give you guys a bit of a test to check the EvoSwitcher is working, hit the space bar and there it is. Up pops this nice blue background with information. You can use the number 1 to scroll through. So you've got dynamic camera, you've got the fan view, there's the broadcast camera. If you guys want to check out what I'm using, there it is. Pause it right now and take a gander at it. And then you've also got the option to turn on replays or turn them off, ball cursors, black bars. If you want to change the ball, obviously go to the ball server commands, hit 9 on the keyboard. And then you have the option of pressing up and down, as it says right there. You can just literally scroll through all these balls. So if I wanted to go to, say, Merlin Premier League, if we go to general settings now, you will see there it is. It doesn't matter what we change. I can go all through the numbers. It's always going to keep the Merlin Premier League. If you want to change it, back out and change it. Obviously, I'm going to keep it the same because we want to play the Premier League. And there we have it. We've got the home kits, the away kits. All the kits are there. Looking the part. So let's quickly dive into this, show you guys that it is officially all good to go. And any questions, of course, leave a comment below. So, as you can see, there is the Premier League scoreboard. Valencia leading the side, and you'll have the proper fonts as well. But yeah, it really is pretty straightforward. If you've done it once before, it's just a simple case of reapplying it again. And we've started this from fresh. I mean, I've done this completely brand spanking new, got rid of everything that was in the folder, in the files. So if I got it to work, you guys can absolutely get it to work as well. So just to quickly show a couple of snippets of gameplay. Now, the ad boards aren't going to be there because I haven't put that in yet. If you want to add the ad boards, I don't know if they're compatible yet. That may be the issue. But it's as simple as downloading the CPK file, putting it into the folder, and then from there, generate a new DP file list, and you're sorted. Simple as that. Make sure you regenerate every time that happens. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It all looks snappy. It means we can get the Master League going. Go on, Fred. Cut in, mate. Get it on the old left peg. Not quite good enough, but yeah, it does mean we can now get back into the Master League, get that rolling for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy it. If you want to add the gameplay tweaks, there's another thread on EvoSwitcher. Head over, check it out. There's a stack full of them. Pretty much go into the data folder and rename the DT18 file. And that way you can test them out. And obviously back up your original so you don't butcher it. That's a shocking pass as I'm not really paying attention. Anyway, we'll be back shortly. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any concerns, questions, comments, if it worked out for you, let me know as well. Do appreciate a like as always. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till next time. Take care.